Hey, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to a Tuesday night watch talk. I am your host, Bobby Legs, and I'm joined with a couple good buddies of mine, Dan and Amin. And Dan, what is up, man? How you doing? Long time no see.
Good, good. I missed you on your break.
Yeah,
Um, I tried to fill in one week and it was kind of a disaster. But
stop. It
um,
was fine.
no, I mean I have a lot more respect for the work you do because it's definitely not easy. I guess you get used to it after a while, but I'm glad you're at the helm. I don't want to be doing it. I'd rather just be in the back seat.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it, and I'll chat up a little bit about my trip shortly. But what do you have on wrist today?
Where did Amin go? What the heck?
Yeah.
I want to.
What do you got? What do you got on wrist today, Dan?
I wanted to wait for Amin to come back.
Okay,
Amin,
okay, okay,
come back
okay.
here.
Well, all right. So we'll hold off. We'll hold off
All right.
until Amin gets back. But yeah, I was on a little vacation, summer vacation with the family for a couple of weeks. We toured the Midwest a little bit, hit a couple of big cities there, and catch some baseball games, and that was fun. Um, Interestingly enough, or not so interesting, when I was at the airport and from the city I was leaving, I was looking at people's watches, and usually when I'm in the wild, right, I really don't see many people, many any kind of like watches that we'd be interested in. It's mostly like quartz watches or G-Shocks or whatever. Nothing too crazy, but at the airport, you definitely see some impressive pieces. So like on the way to Chicago, when I was at the airport in Newark, I saw a couple of Daytonas, right? And that was pretty cool. And
Nice.
then like I got on the plane and there was a guy with a Tudor Chrono, the Panda, the newer one that came out recent in the last year or so. And then a couple of other like noteworthy watches that of course I've forgotten. And then while I was in a town like Chicago, you see people with a lot of Rolex. I think where I was staying, it was kind of like very business districty as well. So I saw my share of that. And then on the on the way home, man, it was just crazy. The flight attendant, he was wearing a Smurf. Like
Oh
I
wow.
and it was real, man, because like I was sitting on the aisle
Hmm.
and he was coming down with the cart and he actually stopped like right next to me and it was his left hand and I was sitting and I was like, wait a second, what is that? And I'm like, holy cow, that's a freaking Smurf, and it was real.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't a fake, man. It wasn't a fake,
Nice.
and I was like, wow, must be good to be a flight attendant these days.
Yeah.
But very very impressive, and it was nice to see some cool watches out in the wild for a change. So Dan, you wanted to wait till Amma got here. You have a
Yeah,
watch.
yeah,
What are you
yeah.
wearing today?
So today I have on the Speedmaster Hesselite.
Wait a second, is that yours?
No.
Oh, okay. S- So I wish you coordinated with me
Uh-huh.
because my buddy lent me his Speedmaster Hesselite,
Oh,
and I have
okay.
it
Nice.
upstairs. I would have worn it. So what are you trying it on for size? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, like, my buddy was just like, "Yeah, try it out, and maybe I'll do a video on it," you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I just got it today, so it's like its charm has starting to seep into my.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Is it a 3861? The
yeah.
new
It's the
one?
brand
Yeah.
new one. Yeah, it's a brand new one.
Awesome bracelet on that too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
The
you're on
bracelet
mute.
is.
How you doing?
Oh, one of those days when you don't know you're on mute.
Yeah.
Good, good, good. I'm doing good.
Good.
Long work
Yeah.
day, but I haven't been on in a while, so I wanted
Yeah.
to
No, I
come on.
appreciate it. Yeah,
Wearing
it's
the
definitely
tutor
missed.
today.
Tutor, yeah.
Tutor.
I got the. Oh, so glad to come back home to this.
Mhm.
It's a Mariner. Nothing. There's nothing. I mean, the watch that I was wearing on vacation, I just brought one. I brought the Seiko SBDC 105, and that's a great watch. But nothing fits. Nothing fits on the wrist
It's
like the sub in my collection. So
like a glove, like a
like a
glove.
glove. All right, so let's say hello to everybody. I'm excited to see who's here. And the first off the gates is Wilson. What's up, Wilson? How you doing? Marceau is here. How you doing? We're in the IWC Portofino tonight.
Very
I feel
nice.
like you should be drinking some brandy, Marceau. Hopefully you are. Chaz is here. How you doing? Bill K, what is up? Mr. Time Hill is here. B Dev is here. Hey, James Duffy. How you doing? Paul is here. What's up? Keith, let's F go, says Bobby. Let's go. Hey, Steve's here. How are you? James, I missed this the weekend live streams, so I'm happy to be back with everyone. Yeah, I think Sanjay's been knocking it out of the park with the Saturday streams lately. Good times. Hey, BJ, what's going on? How you doing? Hey, Clayton, good to see you, buddy. Justin is strapped in. Joey B is here. Ooh, and I got skipped. That'll happen. The Slayer is, yeah, Slayer's back. Yeah, yeah. Can't wear this out in the sun in the summer too much, so I have to throw it on at night. Sam is here. How you doing, Sam? Sam with the nice pickup lately, huh? Have you seen that one? The Sea of Clouds. He got
Oh
one of
yeah,
those Grand Seikos.
one of the
Um,
first, really the first video on YouTube about the Sea of Clouds.
yeah, awesome. Good
Yeah,
job, Sam. Um, let's see who else. Hey, Rasan, what's going on, man? I was thinking about you the other day. I was like, oh,
long
who
time.
hasn't been on? Rasan hasn't been on in a while. I know he's got a pretty busy schedule and he's a few hours behind us. KR Joy is here. What is up? Junior Johnson, what is up, man? How you doing? Hey, Kevin S is here. Jared is here. Happy 5th of July. Wearing a Speedmaster for Speedy Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta size it. Otherwise I would have been wearing it, but I had to size it. My friend's got a bigger wrist than me. Um, Ms9 is here. Rasan is wearing the JLC Polaris memo box. Hey, Jeffrey O'Neill is here wearing his Tudor Pelagos in blue. Stefan is here. Yeah, Chaz playing the music for me, talking about the Rolex. Joey Beep wearing the North Flag. Is that a sign of things to come? Tudor definitely leaking out a teaser about what to expect soon. Uh, Justin R. Flight attendant. The term is now aeronautical service personnel. Okay. All right. I stand corrected. Um,
Uh,
let's see here. Hey, Rock the Watch. Matt is here. How you doing? What's going on, buddy? Thanks for coming. Hey, Roar of the Tiger is here. Anish, what's up, Anish? Good to see you. Um, and yeah, Basama's work and travel back. Now he's back. Awesome, awesome. Uh, Chaz is wearing the Paul side or the Grace side of the moon. Yeah, we got a little Slayer here. There he is. And Nerio is wearing the Seamaster. What's up, Nerio? How you doing? And Caliber is here wearing the North Flag. Looking forward for the North Flag. Man, the North Flag seems to be like a cult classic, right? I mean, everybody, a lot of people that I know who are into watches and who like Tudor are really into the North Flag. It hasn't bitten me like it has other people. I mean, it's a nice watch, and I get it. And it's different than what we see with their typical Tudor releases, especially here in North America, which is mostly all black bays anyway. So I guess that's the cool thing about it. But are you guys big North Flag fans? Dan, I think you are, right?
yeah,
Or
I
no?
like the one that was discontinued. I'm kind of just curious as to what kind of changes they're going to do because, like, I I thought there was nothing wrong with it, but apparently, I guess it wasn't selling well. So I'm not sure what kind of changes they would do because I thought it was perfect as is. The only thing I would
Yeah.
do is make it titanium.
Yeah, sure. Amin, you would make it ceramic?
I like it. I like the previous one. Um, yeah, I'm interested to see what they do.
Do you
Maybe
think that
make it
hint?
metas.
Yeah. Do you think that hint of yellow, right? There's some yellow in that, right? And then that watch with the power reserve
Yeah.
hand and whatnot. Do you think that may have turned off some people or limited the pool of people who are interested? Because you're saying, Dan, that you didn't understand why it was discontinued, and I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
that as well.
I think it's the asymmetry of the dial. It's
Mhm.
it's kind of like how the Grand Seiko Power Reserve display on the spring drive throws some people.
Yeah.
It's different, and it's like comes across to some people as less balanced, but I think it looks good.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Henry Rollins, in a Black Flag concert wearing a North Flag. Um, James is saying, I think the cartoony color blocking turned people off.
I can see that.
Okay.
Color blocking? What's he talking about?
I don't know. I was just gonna go with it, but then you had to ask that question, didn't you?
Here's
I
the
don't know.
watch, right? Let's throw it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a good looking watch.
Yeah.
And the colors, there's very very little color. I mean, just
Yeah, I
just
think
a
it's pretty
bit.
subtle. Yeah.
I think maybe the 12 and a 6 James was talking about, perhaps.
I like it.
I'm just gonna remove this from the screen real quick.
Yep.
I think we're trying to get a mystery guest in here who's having trouble coming in. So hopefully that mystery.
It's got to be either Paul or Marcus.
Yeah, it's Paul. It's Paul. I'm gonna bet it's Paul.
Random Rob, the North Flag is dope.
It's got to be somebody in Canada with that kind of broadband.
Let's see. This is really fun. Still having problems. Still having problems. Rasan saying Tudor needs to hire ID guy. Yeah, right. I mean, like he always does an epic video. Hey, there he is.
Hey.
Dib.
Hey guys,
Mystery guest.
Mystery guest Dib Jody. Hey Dib, you're a big fan of the North Flag, aren't you?
I really like the North Flag. I had it for 8 months. That's a long
That's
time.
that means you really, knowing you really must have liked it if you had it for 8 months.
Yeah.
Because you are in and out of watches, just as much as you're in and out of Chick-fil-A, right?
Yeah.
Dib, what could they do for the 70th anniversary of the British North Greenland expedition? What could they do to the North Flag to get your attention again?
Honestly, it wouldn't take a lot to get my attention. A thinner case. I don't need to see the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two, and this is, me joining the Hodinky Club. A little smaller case, 38, 39. 3 half links. Very important for skinny people.
Or they could
And
just put in the
or
the
the
ratcheting
adjustable, yeah,
clasp.
exactly.
Yeah, the ratcheting clasp. Yeah.
T clasp. Yeah.
T-Link,
That-
right?
that-
They go, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I need. I mean, I
Yeah.
was a big fan of the watch then. I'm a big fan of the watch now.
Okay. Well, that's yeah. So hopefully Tudor will give us what we want, right? Finally, right? Without sort of what we want. Hopefully it's a 10. You know, Jeffrey saying on the fly adjustment in the bracelet would be a big win for the North Flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically saying what you were saying, Dib.
Yeah, I mean, it's British, so either they can go in two directions. One, they utilize the polar connection to make something whiter, like chapter ring or like a white dial, or since it's British, maybe British racing green, like
Hmm.
that's their color, right? So if
Did they
Tudor
say it's going to be a North Flag? of some sort?
No,
No,
No.
I
Oh.
guess it's pure speculation at this point.
Mesdine would like to see a new Ranger. Joey B here on the Bobby Leg stream, calling it right here. This is what he thinks it's going to be. He is predicting a North Flag FXD, fixed lugs like the new Pelagos, and a GMT function.
Yeah, but
I
then
think that's crazy talk.
That is crazy
never gonna
talk.
You're
happen.
wild.
I would bet money on it. I would bet money on it.
Yeah.
uh, I'm putting smart money on a Black Bay derivative.
Yeah, right.
That's
Exactly.
smart
That's
money.
really.
That's pretty smart. I remember when they were teasing some military connection, and they were kind of teasing the FX, what eventually became the FXD, and then they dropped this ceramic, right? Remember,
Yeah.
everybody was like, thought they were going to drop the new
Marine National.
Tudor Submariner or
Mhm.
Marine National,
Mhm.
and then
Right.
this came out, and everybody was pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was botched. Yeah.
Yeah, that was totally botched.
Yeah.
North Flag 58. Bold predictions are fun, you wussies.
Yeah, but that was crazy, Joey. We're gonna play that one back later. You'll see how crazy you are.
Yeah, let's
You're
tone
crazy.
it down, Joseph, for sure.
Okay, so
Bold is one thing.
one of my friends had a thought on this. He says, and I'm quoting, Tudor deserves better than being reduced to a Rolex homage brand.
Yeah,
Do you guys agree to that?
they really are. I mean, if you look at all their designs, you could see.
Yeah, I mean, but the North Flag, for example, that was a completely brand new design from the ground up. Even the Pelagos, for that matter.
Yep.
Look, Tudor has, sure. I mean, like, especially here, I think maybe the perception of Tudor might be different in like parts like in Asia, right? Here we see a lot of black bays, right? We see a lot of the Rolex homages, but it's not like Tudor doesn't go in different directions with their playbook. I mean, like you have, models like the Advisor, right? You've had the Ranger. You've had the North Flag in the past, and they'll probably dip back in and out of these kind of one-off models that are
But
separate themselves from the Black Bay. Um, Go ahead,
but
Ted.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
look at their track record from when they were revamped. Like
Hmm.
2012 was the first year they came out with
Yeah,
the Black Bay. They've had the P01,
yeah,
the Pelagos,
yeah,
and the North Flag.
yeah.
I can't think of anything else which has been outside of the Black Bay family. Like these are the only three, and I'm not counting the Royals or the what's the other one? Something 1926.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
The glamour
yeah,
line.
glamour. Yeah, the glamour line. Just because they're like just entry level pieces.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think and your friend, has a valid concern, but if they sell watches, if they're selling Black Bays, like
That's the spirit. That's the history of the brand, right? I mean, that's why the guy made the brand.
that's true, right?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So
I mean,
maybe, yeah.
I don't feel like my watch. It's clearly in the style of a Submariner, but I feel like it's different enough that I don't feel like I'm walking around with a homage of a Rolex.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those things are purely personal. Like there's some things other people don't feel like is a homage that I'm like, oh, that's kind of a homage. So
Yeah.
it's however it works for you.
James is saying if Tudor had not made a million versions of the Black Bay, the North Flag would have gotten more attention and love before it was discontinued.
I don't know. Honestly, it was a bit of a Marmite watch. Like you either love it or hate it, and I think I got into the North Flag at very early in my watch collecting journey. So I mean, I used to post, like opinion polls on Facebook. 2019, I think that was the year. Hey, are you a fan of the North Flag or not? And it was almost 50-50.
Hmm.
So it had its fans, and then you had people who could not stand the power reserve or those hands or the case shape in general.
Right.
So it has always been that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Justin's saying I can't wait for Long Island Watch to knock off this Tudor.
Is it going to be the Long Island Toilet Bowl watch?
Might re-release a Tudor Oyster Prince in the style of the original Expedition watch. There was kind of like also a little bit of a hint of an Oyster Prince, right? In that video, right? So typical Tudor, probably get everybody fired up maybe for a North Flag, and then come out with an Oyster Prince in the style of an explorer. You know?
Okay, I do have one question.
Yeah.
Dan, that's Speedy.
Yeah.
When? How?
Damn. Good eye.
Yeah, I've been noticing it for a while now. Like, when did you get the Speedy?
Today. It's the Hesselite.
Wow, I missed it. Damn.
It's his friends.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
mine.
Yeah.
Oh, Islander is doing. Now that you mentioned, they're doing stamped patterns on dials. I haven't looked at them in over a year.
Oh, you didn't see the lake sewage?
I didn't see it.
There's a lake sewage.
It's just freaking unbelievable.
Kevin is saying, everybody is loving it now, but it wasn't much love for North Flag before it was
Exactly.
discontinued.
Yeah.
Joey B, the Nostradamus of the Tudor world, is saying that I like the fact it's so polarizing. North
You're
Pole, fixed
polarizing,
understand,
Joey.
it's all together. Dan, you need a speedy. I need a speedy too, man. I mean, I need a speedy too.
It's growing on me.
Yeah, I gotta look. I mean, and I'm gonna talk about it probably because, like I said, I had my friend Speedy in. He lent it to me, and I'm gonna probably I'll do a little review. The Speedy is one of those watches where, like, I get it, especially the Moon watch, right? The history, it's iconic, but to me, when I see it, like in a video or a picture, it seems just so very plain and boring to me. Then I get it, then I see it in person, and I'm like, this is awesome. I'm totally getting one. And then I go back to, it's boring. I see it on videos and screen. It's one of those watches in person that it really does move me, but then I forget about it. And then when I see it again, I get moved again. So it's like a weird relationship that I have with the watch. And like now that I have it in person, it's just like, oh man, like it's like eating. It's like constantly when you eat sugar, right? And then you want to stop, but you're craving sugar, right? That's a terrible example. Anyway, I just got ahead of my skis there. AZ Klein, Tudor Oyster Prince is 40 millimeter. The Explorer one would the world would want, right? I bought a North Flag while they were still active and got them at a good discount. Probably won't be able to get these at a discount, right? If they do come out, right? At least for a while. Kevin has my prediction, not Tudor. Bobby buys a Speedy and sells it in 3 weeks. Stop it.
I hope not.
No, stop it. Okay, all right. Let's rein it back in here. So I was talking to Amin earlier, before the stream, a couple hours before the stream, and Amin was like, "Hey, listen, I got a couple ideas of what we could talk about tonight," and I thought they were great. So, Amin, do you wanna kick off one of the, because you have more of a background, especially in the one that you and
I can't even remember.
well, okay. So
if you
the conversation.
tell me, if you clue me in,
What is-
I'll try to
What
go
is
there.
luxury? What is
No.
luxury?
That one I want to
was
talk
one.
about after. But the conversation that you had with our friend Keith.
Oh, so I was talking with Keith, our mutual friend Keith, about watches, and he was saying that he gets immediate buyer's remorse on like almost every watch purchase.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
And that his I hope he doesn't mind me saying, I don't think he would mind me saying this, and that And then his wife is like, why don't you let yourself enjoy, the watches? And so I thought this was just an interesting topic of like the not so fun sides of watch enjoyment, like the things that we stress ourselves out about. Like for example, this Tudor, if I can go. So it's ceramic. It's this case is ceramic, but the bezel insert's ceramic, but the bezel itself is PVD coated steel. Crown is PVD coated steel, and I'm like, oh, someday if I keep enjoying it, it's going to wear off the PVD coating, and it's going to be some like silver colored metal, and it's just like, it's the kind of thought that just purely decreases my enjoyment of the watch, of owning and enjoying the watch. And if I ever get to the point where that's showing, like I'll have put so much happy miles on the watch. It's just but it's like, it's just one of those things. It's are there any ways that, do you guys get any anxieties about watches, or things that rob the fun out of it for you?
I think the only anxiety I keep getting is when I see my bank account. I like all watches,
Yeah.
I think I've had that feeling with only one watch in my collection, and that was that very limited Zenith that I had. I could never wear that, knowing that it was very rare, and
Yeah.
knowing how I am, a flipper. I want the money. I'm like, if I wear it, there's $50 lost, there's $100 lost every day. So that and I had to sell it because every time I wore it, that's the exact feeling I got. Wearing like for to me, wearing something which is depreciated gives me a lot more joy because I'm like,
Mm.
I'll lose money on it anyway, so
It's
might as well
careless. You don't
enjoy
have
it.
to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I think if any of my watches like overnight tripled in value, I would be like, it's time to get rid of it.
The other thing is, like, especially since I go through a lot of watches every year, what I do is, for example, I'm selling my Zenith and the other Grand Seiko. So what I do is I have my main box, and then I have an auxiliary box. I just put those watches in that box and just try to forget about it, just so that I don't have any remorse. It's not buyer's remorse per se. I think the only watches I've had buyer's remorse are where I'm like, like I start thinking of, can I sell it for a profit, or can I sell it for a loss? Like that, those are the ones which I have buyer's remorse. Exactly. Wilson is right. Think of the watch as a stripper. Enjoy now, regret later. I'd have something more colorful, but let's go with the stripper.
I will say to Keith that I've made a lot of progress not getting caught up in these things. So like, I feel like I don't know what a good example would be, but like, if something is, if there's a tiny bit of bezel misalignment, or chapter ring, or ticks not hitting markers, or anything else like that I used to let really sap the enjoyment of a new watch, like, or a bit of dust on the dial, or dust on the hands, or I don't know, a mark somewhere. Like, I feel like those things don't bother me the way they used to. Like I can just enjoy the watches. So it can change.
Marcel says, I think part of buyer's remorse is when you buy a watch is that you've committed the money. Before you buy, you have many more options open and can flirt with lots of other watches. I get that. There's no rhyme or reason to when I feel buyer's remorse. Um, it's not after, let's say, I go through a phase where I buy a lot of watches and then I feel buyer's remorse. It could happen then. It could happen with a watch that I really, really like, and then I'm like, oh man, I spent all this money on this watch, and I have, you know, five other watches that are the same three-hander, you know. But the good news is that I don't feel that kind of remorse as much as I used to. I think I'm a little desensitized in how much um, money I lay out in watches than I was at the beginning, and part of it is because I know that some of these watches I'll enjoy, and once I'm over them, I can sell them and recoup a good portion of that. So um, the good news is the buyer's remorse is less and less these days. I don't get remorse if there's like a let's say like a misaligned bezel, or if I have something that's PVD coated and I'm worried about it rubbing off. I don't get that kind of remorse.
I-
It's just it depends on my mental state as well. So, right?
You've had some buyer's remorse lately. Few things. The
Yes.
couple that come to my mind for you are ones where you've had buyer's remorse, like within the same day you ordered it and long before it's delivered. Those are some that I think speaks to state of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been stressful the last couple weeks.
I think I had that with the Black Bay Pro. I kept reading so many articles about it being top heavy, and like the day it launched, I called one of my friends. He's an AD. Uh, I want the watch, and as time went by, like I don't have the watch in my hand. I'm like, do I really want it? But I had already committed to it, so I bought it, and then my fears were, like true. It's too top heavy for me, and I sold it. That I had buyer's remorse before I even bought the watch. So yeah, that was one instance.
Rasan saying, no, not at all. I overthink every watch purchase to a degree, a psychotic degree, that I am 100% on board with all of them. Every single purchase, right up to my taste change. Well, Rasan is definitely methodical with his purchases. I mean, he doesn't, and he thinks it through, and he doesn't, from what I recall, buy at a rate that we do. So he does takes his time, and he definitely takes a much more sober, much more adult way of approaching watch collecting than any of us on this panel for sure. Um, hey Tim, thanks, really appreciate it. Oh man, thanks for the super sticker, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Um, Colin says some of you guys buy watches just for the buyer's remorse. Bunch of sickos. There
Yeah.
might be
I don't
something
get
to
that.
that, man. There might be something to that. There might be something like, like the psychology of like, dooming yourself before you having a chance of like, success, right? Um, there might be some of that. I mean, for somebody that I know, I mean, not, I'm not going to mention names, but me basically, I'm mentioning it's me. Like sometimes I do that. Okay. Um, I think many folks put too many expectations on watches they buy. It's just a watch. It will not transform your life. All right, man.
Yeah, I don't understand the remorse thing because, like, I've had watches like for example, the Bell and Ross. I wasn't remorseful. I was just didn't like it, so I returned it. But like, I've never had a watch and I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have bought this.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Dan. You're much more healthier individual than I am.
I don't know
So
about
that's
that.
why.
Well, Dan, let's say
it's true.
your friend had the Bulgari with the filthy hands, right? Like like dust and smeary stuff all over the hands, right?
Right.
So like you'd be disappointed, maybe wouldn't have bought that in the first place, or maybe return it, or I don't know how you'd handle it. But
Right. Yeah.
but in between that and good, right? There's a bunch of gradations of disappointing, right?
Yeah.
And so at some point it's yucky enough that it takes away from the enjoyment of the watch. But where that point is depends on the person, right?
That part I get. Like if you have some factory defect, you got to service it, and it's still not right, then that takes away from the enjoyment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people get takes away from the enjoyment if it's out of spec on the timing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would
like that. That one I don't care, but
yeah,
you would care about
either.
that one.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like the first turtle I had was plus 22 seconds a day, And I don't even know if that's within spec, but it's just way too
I
fast.
think that is within spec on
It
a
is
turtle.
within
Yeah.
spec.
That's just disgusting. I mean, like, it's just there's no excuse for it. Like,
What about a watch that's supposed to be ±2 and it's like +4? Would you care?
no,
No.
Yeah, I
No.
wouldn't care.
as long as it's not like there's something wrong with it, like, as long as the amplitude is healthy or whatever,
Yeah.
My limit is +10, -10 on any watch. I know
Wow.
my sub runs out of spec, but it doesn't bother me a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
every couple of days I just go in and like change the time. My Grand Seiko is it keeps better time than the sub.
I mean, I think we all have so many watches that it doesn't matter. All my watches die.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
mean,
think-
once it gets sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. Go
No,
ahead.
you go ahead, dude. I was just gonna say I think Grand Seikos always keep better time than a sub, but please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
Just kidding.
once it gets past a certain number, it just bothers me, and that number for me is 10.
Wilson is having a conversation with Kevin, saying that I need a service watch to help him cope, like a dog, like walking in a dog on an airplane. So true. So true. Paul saying if the specs are +2 -2, if it's stated, you guys are nuts. It should be +or -2 if it's stated.
Paul, it's 6:37 your time. Go have a mimosa.
Yeah. I feel like any time is mimosa time for Paul, right? Sunday mornings, Tuesday evenings. Just do it.
I think I'd stray away from mimosas into something better. I've had mimosas for a while.
Titties.
Yeah.
Titties.
I did not say that on live TV. Sorry, live YouTube.
I just don't know, like, how tough you look if you're drinking mimosas. Do you know what I mean? Like you have the nice little fluted glass, and you're
Yeah,
just
but
like, I mean, does he hold it like on Paul? Do you hold it like on the stem, or do you just like hold it like this, or do you just grab it?
I like
Like yeah, pinky up.
that's
Pick you
how
up. Pick you up.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I hold it. I don't care. It's my
Pa-
drink.
Paul, are you having a croissant with it, or some sort of, you know, raspberry tart? Bobby's saying time has no plus or minus when you have a baby. The baby decides the time anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've been there, dude. Orange Hand is saying the endless stream of drops these days. No, thank you. Is the contributing factor. Back in Basel World days, you had to wait a year before new watches tempted you again.
Yeah.
Good point. Timing watches to that level just makes you obsess over nothing. I'm routinely 24 seconds late to class, and it's fine.
Yeah. I don't think the students would notice. They're like, oh, damn, we got 24 seconds back.
Scones only, Bobby Legs. Okay. Paul saying, I do not. I wear my 36 more Explorer as well. I leave my purse at home. Thank you very much. Paul. Just teasing, Paul. Joe is saying, I think there's too many variables to be a spec Nazi when it comes to timing. There's going to be fluctuations at times. I'm impressed by super accurate timing, but it's not a necessity. Well said, Joey. And let's segue to the next conversation that Amin that you wanted to have this evening. And there was a video that Bark and Jack, or Adrian from Bark and Jack, did lately about what is luxury, and I think he made a second video about, he defined it right, about what is luxury, and he had mentioned how, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. I did watch the video after talking with Amin, and Amin made the point, and then I want to reiterate the point of saying that Rolex he says is a luxury watch, although the only reason why it's a luxury watch is because it's in demand and very, very popular, whereas Omega is not a luxury watch item. guys, did you have a chance, Dan, to see this video?
Mhm.
Then what did you think? Did you get what Adrian was saying?
I understand what he's saying, but I think his argument's weak.
Mhm.
He was saying Omega's not a luxury watch brand. I highly disagree. I mean, I think this is definitely a luxury watch. I mean,
Well, he would say
it,
that's a tool watch, right? And a tool watch by definitions can't be. I think, and I'm paraphrasing what he's saying, but can't be a
yeah, I
luxury
understand
item.
that. I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
I don't
But,
yeah.
agree because if you're just saying you just need it to do a purpose, then a cheap watch would be just fine.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
I haven't watched that video, but I just don't see his argument. I mean, an Omega, let's say the cheapest Omega. I'm guessing that's going to be a Devil in the current lineup. That's like $3,500 to $4,000.
Yeah.
What did he smoke or what did he drink? Like that, to think that a $3,500 watch is not a luxury watch. I mean, I think he's getting too fancy, or like he's rubbing too many shoulders with the GPAG members to think that he has a valid opinion, which he does not. His opinion is basically worthless. He has a lot of views. He makes very nice videos. Like very good, very good cinematography, videography, but it's an opinion from some guy who doesn't know what he's talking about. That's to me. I don't really care. And I don't watch him even because when he states that Rolex and Omega, Rolex is a luxury brand because there's a lot of demand for it. Does he even see how many Omegas are selling every day? Like if I'm going to use this argument saying Rolex has a lot of demand, Omegas have a lot of demand too. They make a seriously good product. I don't see his argument.
I think some of his argument is semantic because there's um he's calling something premium and he's calling something else luxury, and like, what do you mean by premium, what do you mean by luxury? Like it's sort of semantic differences, but um along the lines of what Colin is saying, sorry, Poppy, Colin's saying the bar for luxury is too low, right? So you can arbitrarily set where you want to call something luxury. And I think what Adrian was saying is it's a combination of the intrinsic qualities of the watch, like how high end is the watch itself, right? And then part of the definition of luxury is this idea of scarcity. Like, if everybody can get it, it's not luxury. Kind of scarcity is part of like a lot of the definition of luxury. Like when it's the reason why Burberry, when they at the end of the year, if they don't sell clothes, they burn them. Like they're known, they don't tell people they burn them, but they won't discount them. They won't um uh give them away. They'd rather destroy them because controlling scarcity is like part of like the fabric of luxury. So I mean, to an extent, and by the way, I started off thinking his argument was idiotic, and I kind of ended up thinking his argument is idiotic. So I'm just kind of talking through the middle part because I think it's pretty much BS too. But um, if you believe that, first of all, and I don't even think luxury is necessarily even good or the goal. Like it's kind of bullshit in a way. Like these how these companies create this air of this is for special people and other people need not apply.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even really want that kind of luxury. So I'm not saying it's like the goal, but for people who are into that kind of exclusivity, status, those aspects of luxury, like Rolex has done a lot to protect its scarcity, and Omega not as much. Like they're doing more, they're controlling the gray market more, they're controlling sales more, but those elements of it they haven't controlled as much. And the low end brands, we're seeing like anybody can control scarcity, right? I mean, like Ming can control scarcity. Um, who else? Even Zelos can control scarcity. So scarcity in itself doesn't make luxury, right? But any brand at any level that really wants to have controlled scarcity could do it. Omega could do it, right? They're just choosing for their business model not to do it to the extent that Rolex does it. But I still think it's a luxury watch. I mean, it's crazy. Like a tool watch, there's so many levels of tool between G-Shock to Zinn to this, that, and the other, before you get to Omega. Like you hold an Omega, you can tell that a serious amount of luxuriousness
Mm-hmm.
was, they spent the money to make it
Yeah.
a luxury item. Like that's where
Do you
I think
think
his argument falls apart, and it's bullshit, is that this idea that tool watches can't be luxury. Like you hold a sub or you hold an Omega, it's a luxury watch, like a blank pen. I mean, it's a
do you
luxury
think
watch.
economic status changes the definition of luxury for someone who's in a much higher, economic status than just middle America, whatever?
Well, I think everybody has their own definition of luxury. So you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
the
yeah.
definition that's in the dictionary, which he brought out, right, in the video, and then there's our own definitions of what luxury is. Like, Amin and I were talking, and I was saying, if you spend a couple $1,000s on something, that's luxury, and then the argument came up, well, Corolla, costs a couple $1,000s at least, obviously, is that a luxury car? And my first instinct was no, but then I thought about it. Then anything like a car is a luxury item. Like we don't have a right to own a car, right? It's not in whatever. It's not in the Constitution, right? that we have the right to own a car. So you have to buy it, and it takes you everywhere. So that is a luxury. I could walk to the grocery store. It'll take me 5 hours. I could get in the car, a Corolla, and it'll take me 10 minutes. That is a luxury to me. Now it's not like sleeping in the bed with 1,500 count bed sheet, Egyptian cotton, right? Type of luxury, right? Maybe we can all agree that there's different layers of luxury, different types of luxury. Um, but I think depending on where your status economically is, I mean, yeah, our definitions of luxury are different, right? So yeah.
It's fluid, but again, like again, I and I haven't watched his video. I mean, I'm just going by what you guys said. Omega not being a luxury brand,
Yeah, it's nonsense.
that's laughable.
It's
Yeah,
laughable. It is
Yeah.
yeah, it's
nonsense.
nonsense. Yeah, it's nonsense.
And the idea that these are tool watches, so they can't be luxury, is very, very weak as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is a 50
This
fathoms a tool watch?
this $600 Seiko is a luxury. I mean, if we are to look at just the word luxury, what is luxury? Something which we want so that we feel good about ourselves. We don't need it. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of luxury product do we actually need
Hmm.
to
Well,
survive?
he makes that distinction. He says at one time he was broke and that getting a Starbucks coffee was not within his means, and so he would look at that as being, it would have been a luxury for him, but it doesn't make Starbucks coffee a luxury item. And again, it's depends on how you define these things, right? But there's definitely this type of luxury where the idea is to project that not everybody can have this, even if they have a lot of money, right? Like Birkin bags or this kind of bullshit, right? Is that, and then there's things that are super expensive that if you have the money, you can go get it. Like if you want a Grubel Balancier Sport, you can walk to Shreve, Crump and Low in Boston, drop your 300 grand, walk out with it, right? So it's not, there's no scarcity. There's no hoops to jump through, but I think anybody would call that luxury, right? But
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Well, let's wrap up this segment and go with Wilson's quote as a perfect sum up. You can have a jacuzzi with water jets or just fart in a tub. To each his own. Well said, Wilson. Um, let's wrap that up and want to take a look at some interesting new releases, guys, real
sure.
quick. Okay, so something came out today. Um, that it's a little mind blowing. And now we have this Richard Mille
I saw
sets
that.
a new record for the world's thinnest watch.
This is. I just saw the picture. This is a mechanical watch, right? Has to be.
Mechanical, yeah. Manual wind, 1.75 millimeters thick for the whole watch.
Wow.
I mean, can you seriously have fun with this or not? I mean, like this to me is just asinine.
This to
I
me is
gotta give him
luxury.
props. I gotta give him props for that.
I love it. 100-meter water resistance, and what they said, 5,000 G's.
So what?
Shock resistant is nuts.
Yeah,
I love
give
it.
him props.
This
I
does
love it.
nothing for me.
I'm
I'm
not a-
sorry.
I'm go ahead, Bobby.
I mean, like, who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's gonna wear this. Nobody's gonna wear this.
Oh, 150 people will definitely wear this.
Yeah, but these are not the kind of people that I want to ever know. I have to
Oh,
be
yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the way that it looks, but I respect the watchmaking.
I like a watch that has a case, that's tangible, that has hands that tick, that has like a dimension of the movement. You know, like this is just, I don't know.
But again, this is not a watch. This is luxury in its truest form. This is like a Bulgari Serpenti, times how much? What's it? It's like 1.8 million. You don't wear this to see the time.
I don't agree with that.
Go ahead.
This is a bragging
This
rights.
is engineering flex.
They're winning. They won this round. It's like yeah.
I don't know. If I had that watch, I'd be like,
I
oh,
wanna
look
know.
at my wrist. I'd be that D bag. Look at my wrist. I have a $2 million RM, and I'm like, while wearing.
But
a
it's not
staple.
flashy. It's not flashy. Like
Yeah.
I'll make it flashy.
if you didn't know anything about watches and you saw that, you'd be like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, but
It looks
but
like
here's
nothing.
the thing. Give it to a rapper. There's some empty space there. Just jewels.
Oh yeah. No, you couldn't because there would be no space to set the jewel. Like you would have to just glue it on.
People have done worse.
Yeah. Look. Congratulations, eggheads over at Richard Mille. You set the world record for the thinnest watch. You spent all this time engineering this. How about instead of like building this, figure out a way to bury electrical lines to make it efficient to maintain, so that when bad weather comes, my electricity doesn't get affected. How about that? How about can we spend the mental energy that it took to do this wafer thin watch and actually do some good in the world, and not just hand it over to 150 self-righteous um, you know idiots. That's too strong. Um, People in this world who don't even care about the minions, the rest of us. You know what I mean? Who's like, out of my way, Bobby Legs. I need to get to my really thin watch so I can impress no one with my thin watch that I spent $2 million away with you, out of my way, and your no electricity and your air conditioners can't run when it's 95 degrees outside.
I have no words.
Oh my god, I love the rants. But no, honestly, like if I was balling out of control, I would totally buy one.
Same. I'd buy this in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
I would
this
never
this
ever
is
buy
made for
this.
me. I mean, it's not flashy like the other RMs, like gaudy. This is just engineering marvel. I mean,
Yeah.
and the fact
I
on top of
respect
that, 100-meter water resistance and shock resistant, like come on, like this is awesome.
And if I buy this watch, I might actually get a shot at a 458 or something, like get on the wait list for a Ferrari. You never know. If you think watches are hard to get, Ferraris are far worse. So, just
Yeah, this is gonna stick with me for a while.
I think it's more wearable than the Bulgari too. The Bulgari doesn't seem like it would be comfortable.
You think it's more wearable than the tears of the billions of people in the world?
Yes.
I'm sure the makers of RM don't really care for poor people. They're like,
No,
what are
no,
those?
they don't care.
You
Come
know
on.
who would wear this watch? Cruella Deville. I only know that because I'm just reading under one Dalmatians to my kids right now. So that's where I am at.
I can see Bernie Ecclestone wearing it.
Ay, ay, ay.
Dan, so what do you got going on this week? I got some videos. You gonna do a
I
little
might do a review on the Speedy.
Nice.
very
Nice.
nice. Yeah, I'm gonna do one too, but I guess I have to wait a month before I do mine now because you'll beat me
Wait
to
a
it.
month. Why do you have to wait a month?
Yeah, I'm not gonna back to back do a review video after you do one. You know,
Who
come on,
cares?
man.
Who cares? Who cares?
Yep, exactly, BJ. That's the kind of guy that's gonna wear one of these. That's the guy. He's gonna buy it.
He's gonna buy it. He's
Or
gonna
he's
be
gonna put
gifted
a gun
one.
to somebody's head to get one.
Sorry, Putin. I'm not friends with this guy. I'm not friends with this guy at all.
I can see Bezos. Bezos, right? Bezos would be like, oh yeah, 2 million, whatever.
Amin, you were on a streak a couple weeks ago with the reviews.
Oh, this feels like such a distant memory.
Eternity ago.
If I get the Sea of Clouds, I'll do a video too.
Oh man, I hope you do. I hope you get that soon. Such a beautiful watch. And if you guys want to see, I mean, Sam over Sands of Time on his Instagram, and he did do a video on it, did he?
There's a YouTube video on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, he did do a video. I know I
It's a good
saw.
one.
Yeah, check
It's the
that
only
out.
one with the live watch. So one
Yeah.
of these other blogs had a non-functional one that they took some pro shots of, but
Yeah, great,
Yeah.
great looking watch, and congrats, Sam, on getting that and putting out a video on it because I'm sure there's a lot of people who are very, very interested in taking a look at it. Dib, what is up? You got anything going on this week?
Not really. I mean,
No?
I have a new watch coming in Thursday. Really excited. Kind of bummed I can't sell anything, but that's gonna be a theme till I die, probably because it's a bad addiction. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's the usual.
That's great, guys. Well, anyway, look, I'm happy to be back. Taking a couple of weeks off, but it's good to be back in the saddle of the chat, and talking great watch topics with great friends and with you guys on the chat as well. And we'll be around next week. We'll see you guys next week. All right, guys.
See
Have a
you
good
all.
one. Take
good
care.
night.